Hi, hello. It is time. The final Time Rift event has now begun in DML. You can see this because we've got this new island at the bottom of the main island here. So we've got lots of stuff going on. It also looks like we're having trouble loading in the images for the flying creatures. But anyway, if we click on this, we can see everything relating to the final Time Rift event. And do remember that this is going to be a month-long event with tons of different events coming out. Of course, the major reward for this event is the ultimate Chronos dragon, and you can get him if you collect all of the other special Chrono dragons. You can also get some cool badges. I actually really like that. Obtain the 3 new Chrono dragons during the final rift: Chrono Chang'e, Chrono Osiris, and Chrono Poseidon, and you get that cool looking badge. I actually would love that, but probably not going to get it. Of course, this week we have part 1 of the final journey, the Divine Castle event. So let's do this quick introduction. So I've been able to hear the thoughts of Chronos and other dragons for a while now, but lately Chronos isn't making any sense. I'd be happy if it meant I could get dragons out of my head for good, but it just makes me worried. What's going on with Chronos? Urgent news, you dolt! The Northern Divines have told me a horrible truth. Those beings we know as the Chrono Divines are mechanical creations of the Tyrants. I'm sure you felt it too, Neddy. The Divines of our time, and those of the future, need our help. It pains me to team up with you again, but the idea of a tyrant-controlled future pains me even more. Let's go! So, this, of course, is a 6-level castle event, and we will have part 2 later on in the month, but if you get to level 6, and you actually manage to find the key on level 6, you can unlock the Loki dragon, which is an old divine, but if you can open every single chest for part 1 and part 2, you can get your hands on Chrono Chang'e. So technically, she is free to play, acquirable as well. So we will jump to this castle event in a second, how we can collect event currency and things like that. Essentially, I'm going to go through all of the basics for anyone that's never seen an event like this before. But the other thing I'm going to point out is that we will have special offers, so we're going to have lots of special bundles. For example, you can buy Nidhogg in here if you want to. You can get some season points for buying it as well. There's also an Emerald Rift Orb Shrine, which will help generate some event currency for this first part of the event. It's up to you whether you want to buy it. I usually don't, and I usually end up finishing the castle events anyway. But if you are going to miss lots of resets, that might be the only thing that helps you out. But the big part of this event that I'm looking forward to is the dragonmaster pass, of course, because this dragonmaster pass has our wonderful boy Apollo in here. And it does mean that if you can get all the way to the end of this dragonmaster pass and get 8,000 points, you will unlock an Apollo dragon free to play. If you buy the premium pass, you'll be able to unlock 2 Apollo dragons. You'll get all these bonus rewards like gems. You can get a red horn dragon. You know, there's loads of random rewards. There's also the new mineral dragon in this Dragon Master Pass. And this Dragon Master Pass, you can unlock more points through doing daily tasks by hatching and breeding dragons. The fastest way to finish it is by hatching fire dragon eggs, which is probably what I'm going to do. If you do want to buy this premium pass, it is £3.29, and if you wait 3 days, then the price is going to go up to £8. So, you know, I've never bought any of the other premium passes before, but this one finally has our boy Apollo in it. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and buy it. This is the first one I'm going to buy. This is all that I'm probably going to need for the whole event if we unlock all of them, and plus we'll get reduced hatching times. So this is what I am investing into right now. So there we go. I have just purchased this pass. For this we get all the premium rewards made available and our hatching time reduced. Awesome! So now we can get every single one of these. You can see all of them have now unlocked themselves. So I guess we will do that very soon. So, of course we've got lots and lots of events coming. We've also got the Bottomless Dungeon, and during some weeks there will be special dungeon weeks where you can get bonus tickets, and you'll also be able to get pieces of dragons out of some of the chests as well. So doing the dungeon for like the next month straight is really going to help you out. Of course, like I said before, we've got Ultimate Chronos, and the only way to get him is to unlock all of the other dragons. That does also include Apollo. So you'll have to get Apollo, you'll have to get Chrono Poseidon out of the Divine Chess, you'll have to get Chrono Osiris out of the Divine Chess, and Chrono Chang'e from both parts of the castle event. So that's a lot of potential divines for you to have to get, just to unlock a major event dragon, but that is where we're at right now. So yeah, we've got this main screen here, which is what I just went through, but you know, there's lots and lots of stuff that's going to be coming on DML for the next sort of month. And if you do want to know the full schedule, it was all posted on the forums. So we've got the castle events from the 7th to the 14th and the 21st to the 28th. And the Divine Chess weeks are the 14th to the 21st and the 28th to the 5th. So take note of all that. Keep that in your brain. You're going to need to know that. So moving back onto this castle event, you can see we've got lots of season points as rewards. We've also got the Valkyrie Dragon as a reward. But the way that you get more event currency for this is the same as all of the other castle events that we all do. So collecting gold, collecting food, breeding dragons, feeding dragons, winning battles, and catching creatures. So we've done this a billion times before. Collecting gold is simple. Just collect the gold from your habitats. I've got a gold vault that does that for me. For breeding, there are lots and lots and lots of different breeding combos that you can go with, because as you progress through the castle event, the amount of points that you can earn will increase. So, as you go on to different tiers of the event, you will be wanting to breed different dragons if you're going to be optimal. The best thing for you to do during castle events is to have 2 breeding dens. One where you can say breed for the dragon of the month or any special dragons, and the other one that you use exclusively for the castle event breeding points. And if you're ever confused on where you can find the tables that show you what dragons to breed, then just search up castle events of the past. And the wiki is fantastic for this because they always have these sort of event pages that you can go to. And do remember that the wiki is probably going to have all of their pages updated with all the castle event maps, which are going to be crucial to you finishing off the castle event nice and quick, which we'll also go through in a second. But I've just pulled up a random table from one of the previous castle events. This is the True Blue event. But the way that breeding is calculated, the amount of points you get, pretty much stays the same all the time. So right now, we need to get 200 points to finish off our breeding points for this reset. So if we check this table here, you can see that a 6-hour breed, which is reduced to 4 hours and 48 minutes, gives us 250 event currency. So we need to breed a war dragon to get those 200 points. So that is what we are going to go ahead and do to finish off these points. So really simple to breed a war dragon. It's just going to be fire and metal. That is, of course, if the game doesn't crash, which definitely looks like it has. So yes, that does also happen. Okay, my game just crashed like 6 times, so I can't actually input the individual dragons' names, but I'm searching by element now, so if we pop in our fire and our metal dragons in here, this is guaranteed to give us a war dragon. So let's breed these 2 together, and by breeding those, we will get those 200 points that we need for breeding. Again, as we have a higher amount of points that we need to earn, we can use that table to level up a different, or to breed a different dragon that will make up for that. So then we also have feeding dragons, which is very simple, but what you really want to be doing is hatching a new dragon and then feeding that up to whatever level is required to, you know, get all the points for that reset, sell it, buy another fire dragon egg, feed it up, sell it, rinse and repeat. This way, you don't have to waste much food. So then, you know, you can actually use your food on your team, you don't have to worry about wasting it, and you get all the event points. So then we've got collecting food, which on the early levels you can use hour-long food and you can fully deplete all of the points. You can also use 6-hour food, which will give you a massive quantity of points per farm. And that way you know that you're always going to be on time, since the resets for the event are every 6 hours. So it's 5 hours and 41 minutes until the next reset for me. So for example, if I go ahead and throw in squarey berries, which are the second most optimal fruit in the game, which I can collect every 6 hours, that'll be ready just in time for my next reset. so that I can get the points nice and easily then. Then for winning battles, finally, it's also pretty self-explanatory. Go ahead in the map and do fights. The best thing to do usually is to do the blue map fights, because the blue map fights give you lots and lots of resources every day, you know, food and gold. I've got instant win tickets because of my VIP level, which means I don't actually even have to do the fights. I can just get the points for basically just by clicking a button. So this is the equivalent of us doing the amount of fights that we need. Again, we'll do enough to get to those 200 points, and then we will be done skis for the point for winning battles as well. So most of the quests are self-explanatory. Again, we see them pretty much every event, just repeated. And then the final one is catch creatures, and there's no real trick to this, unfortunately. Sometimes the creatures spawn in really quickly, other times they are just not very fun. But if you check back every half an hour or so, you might have a few more that have spawned, but this is probably the most annoying one to clear out of all of them, apart from maybe the breeding quest. But apart from that, you can see we've cleared up as much as we possibly can points-wise at the moment. So now we will actually get into the physical castle event itself. So, where are we? I figured we'd need to do some detective work first, but it appears we've gone directly into a space-time rift. Ugh, these trips always make me nauseous. I haven't heard a word from Chronos, but I guess it sent us straight here. Totally unprepared, of course. Aha, I remember you children, but where are the others? The wise father, the cunning mother, the yellow-maned prodigy. Sorry, it's just us. An interesting choice on Chronos' part, but I suppose you two are the only living humans who can understand our thoughts. It will have to do. Come with me. There's nothing I hate more than the idea of tyrants controlling me, and we must put a stop to it. Okay, Loki, we'll help you out, my friend. So this is level 1. You can see that we've got 2 different paths that we can go down, and we have these battle tiles here. Normally it's going to be cheaper for you to do the battles than spend it on going around, but that will become more and more obvious as you go through this event. So we've got this boss battle. It's the Isis dragon, and it looks furious. I wonder what could have made it so angry. It seems the tyrants have left it alone. No, I'm sure they've done something awful. That's fairly bad news, since Isis is supposed to protect our Earth, sky, and fate itself. Kinda hard to tell what's Earth or Sky anymore, but as for fate, I see a battle in ours. So we're gonna have to finish off this Isis battle here, which is not gonna be very difficult. You know, easy peasy lemon squeezy, introductory fight.
Oh, thank you for making me see reason. I was in a terrible fury. You see, something's happened to my mate, and the fate of all living things hangs in the balance. Please, find my mate.
Oh, so no big deal then. Exactly, that's what I'm saying, dude. So, for example, here we've got these 2 chests, and each of these tiles that we go on is going to cost a set amount. But when we go through these battle tiles here, we don't have to pay the event currency if we can finish the battle. So, that means that the cheapest way for you to progress through most levels is going to be through doing the battles. But we will get element restrictions that will become a lot harsher the further on into the event that we go. Again, this will make a lot more sense to people as we get further into the event, but as an introduction, you should be very, very aware that the best thing for you to do is have as many different elements, unique elements on your team. You don't want to have 3 dragons with plan or fire or anything like that, because it will be incredibly difficult to do some of these levels. There we've got our first chest here. We're going to open this bad boy up, and we didn't get the key. We got a piece for Chrono Chang'e, so now we'll have to go and open up the second chest here. So let's go. We open up this chest, and there is the key. By finding the key on every level, you can progress on to the next level, and you want to be finding these keys as fast as possible. But I will reiterate that the position of these keys is random for every single player. So don't ask where I get the key, don't ask where someone else gets the key, it's not the same for you. If it happens to be in the same chest, that's just luck. Hey, I found a way forward. Now we can search for the Isis Dragon's mate. Hey, who is the Isis Dragon's mate? I'm unsure. I don't often interact with the ancient divines. A very orderly lot, they are. Eliza, don't you know? You went to the Golden Pyramid after all. That was a long time ago, in every sense of the word. There's nothing we can do but move forward. So for that, for completing part 1 and level 1 of this, we get 20 season points. You know, that takes us a step closer to Apollo. Let us enter level 2. This looks and smells like the Helldragon swamp, but of course the Helldragon is nowhere to be seen, because nothing makes sense. Ugh. What's wrong, Loki? You were so talkative until just now. Dragons work in mysterious ways, I suppose. Perhaps it just has gas. Well, I guess that is one possibility. But this is where the level starts to get a little bit more complicated. Level 1's nice and straightforward, but we can only go through this way, so let's just go through the basic path for now. You see, every single tile has a cost. We've got enough for now, so let's keep going and going. And let's take on this Chrono Loki dragon fight. But if this is a Loki dragon and that is a Loki dragon, then who's driving the bus? There is no time for jokes, human. Do you know what this means? Those tyrants captured me in the future. They captured and controlled me with their foul machines. How could it be so? I refuse to believe it. And now we must even defeat me. Ugh, I'll tear those tyrants to ribbons. Yeah, I guess that would be pretty freaky, wouldn't it? Imagine if someone's like, hey, can you go and beat yourself up? Yeah, that's a little tad freaky. But we gotta do it. We gotta defeat the tyrants, I suppose. He's dead.
Chronos.
Did it say something? Eliza, did you hear it?
No, well, just barely. The important thing is we defeated it.
Hush, children. I heard it well through our shared mind. My future counterpart is telling us to find Chronos. And yes, we got Ultimate Chronos as, of course, the main reward for all of this. So, this is where we get into the major deciding factors between people that do finish castle events and those that don't. The DML wiki tends to upload the maps for every single event, and as soon as they're up on the wiki, of course, I'll be spamming you to go and check them out, because what tends to happen is there'll be an image of the entire map, and of course, each one of these paths is going to cost a different amount for us to go through. And you want to be avoiding the most expensive paths, because obviously if you go through the cheapest routes, that's going to be the cheapest route, right? So avoiding the more expensive paths is certainly going to help you out through these castle events. But just looking at this, it's kind of difficult to ascertain which one's the most expensive and which is the cheapest, which is the reason why those maps, when we finally get the full event maps on the wiki, you need to be using them, and they'll list which ones are the cheapest route. So keep all of that in mind. For now, I'm just going to play this as if, you know, we're a random person and we go, you know, we were sort of on our way this way, so we're going to go this way anyway. This is not the way that you want to be doing it, because doing that is going to hold you back in these events majorly. But, you know, this is also our first battle here where we have restricted elements. So you can see we can use fire, wind, earth, metal, plant, and shadow. So we've got elements like void and ancient and divine that we can't actually use in this. As in, if your dragon has like divine or ancient, as long as they have one of the other elements, you can still use them. But towards the end of this event, you will find that you can only use one or two elements. And that is when it starts to get very difficult, because you can imagine if the only element type that you were allowed to use was metal, that would probably screw over a lot of people. Luckily for me, I'm only missing metal and void on my teams, but that still could screw us over during some battles. It depends. And the DML wiki maps will also list what the element restrictions are per level, per battle, so then you can work out, say you can't go through this chest, because you can either fight the battle or you can skip it, but normally skipping costs a hell of a lot of event currency, so you don't want to be doing that. So, that is the general gist behind how these castle events work. We can't really move any further on or find any more keys at the moment. If we've got some more creatures to catch, then maybe we can get to 200 and unlock that chest and see if we're lucky. Any more presents? You can see that waiting for the creatures to spawn in, which just look like broken presents at the moment for me. It's more just random. Unfortunately, they've never had the formula work correctly. So there we go, we're at 200 now. Let's open this chest. Will we get the key? No, we will not. So some people probably would have gotten the key there, which means that then they would have been moved on to level 3, they'd get more event currency, but we weren't that lucky, so now we're going to have to go and open a different chest. So let's collect more currency in the next 6 hours, so when we get the next reset we'll get more points, we'll continue on with the castle event. And that is how that event works. So for anyone that's never actually had a castle event before or never had a divine event, it is very similar, if not exactly the same as existing events that we've had, except now you have to progress on an actual map to do it. So, that is our introduction to that divine event. Of course, we got a bunch of stuff for the dragonmaster pass, so just for doing what we just did, we get 10 pieces of Apollo, another 10 pieces of Apollo, some VIP tickets, gems, portal gems, arena gems. They're also useful. I actually don't think I need those portal gems at the moment, so I'm not going to collect those. Next we'll get some relics of farming and dragon fury essence, some more VIP tickets. You know, you get tons of stuff for doing this, but like I said, the most optimal strat for getting tons of points, you can see for every common we get 5 points. So we sell these, we go into the shop, we search by fire, scroll over here, find our fire dragon, pop him in. And we just keep doing this over and over and over again. And then we will get Apollo super quickly. So if you manage to get Apollo nice and quick, you know, power to you. Say you're someone that doesn't have a single divine on their team yet, theoretically within like a day, if you just sat here doing this fire dragon hatching, you could get yourself an Apollo dragon. And then that would mean that you can use Apollo to help you out in the event. Because obviously, having a divine is better than having a common. And then you can equip some higher tier sigils on him as well. So, I do really highly recommend that if you are a player that doesn't have a divine yet, for you to just spam these fire dragon eggs for the first few days and unlock yourself Apollo super quick. Again, he's easily doable free to play, you just have to do this mind-numbing repetitive set of tasks, so this is why hatchery level 3 is also really good, because if you've got 2 slots to hatch fire dragons, fantastic. If you've got 3 slots, obviously even better. It does mean that you're going to be glued to your device for however long you decide to do it, so keep that in mind. So, that is the gist of what we're doing right now. Like I said, after this castle event, we're going to get the divine chests, and we're going to get the specialized dungeon. I do recommend that you get as many dungeon tokens as you can this week, because like this week we got a premium sigil chest in here, we got relics of hatching, double egg relics. Next week we could get some really, really cool stuff as well. So this week, use it as your prep for next week. Get a lot of dungeon tokens, and potentially get yourself some really cool stuff next week. We're also going to have weekend events, which are going to give us season points, and they're also going to give us divine tickets. So, lots of stuff. And for new players, you've got the chance to get some new divines, some new epics. You know, there's loads of stuff on offer. You definitely, if there's a time for you to be playing DML, it's definitely during the major events like this one. And again, a free divine in the form of Apollo, hell yes, that would be fantastic to be your first divine through such an easy method as well. And you can just grind it whenever you're free, which is why it's so good. But, anyway, I think I have rambled up for far more than long enough. I guess just don't forget your regular day-to-day activities, like doing your sigil campaign map, doing your enchantment battles, because you'll need lots of enchantment materials to enchant Apollo as well. That is the more difficult part of getting ancients and divines and legendaries. They're a lot more difficult to enchant than, say, commons or epics, but they're worth the investment. So, I guess this is me just trying to push you. It's like, yeah, divines are cool, get some divines, haha! But it is true. They are just very, very good in general, and they can bless and things like that. So, this is everything that I want to go through for now. Again, if you do have any other questions, feel free to join the Discord server. Ask some questions there, leave a comment, everything else. But there's loads of events coming. This is just the beginning. Don't panic that you can't get Divine tickets yet, because they will be coming next week. I don't think most people will need the Emerald Shrine, but if you want to buy it because you think the shrine looks cool and you can generate some more currency, I guess go for it. But buy it sooner rather than later while it's on sale if you're going to do it. But I'm not going to buy one. I bought the dragonmaster pass. That's all that I think I'm going to need. But anyway, for now, I appreciate you being here and joining us today. Good luck with all of your breeding if you're going for the Dragon of the Month. And get those fire dragon eggs hatched. So until next time, I hope to see you then.